Hello everyone, welcome to sunny Spa-Francorchamps for round 4 of the Intelligent Money British GT Championship this weekend. It's Friday, which of course means we're going to start the event with the pit lane preview. We're up here in the F1 pit lane this weekend, which we're sharing with GT2 Europe and BRDC British F3. But first of all, it's the familiar sight of GT3 cars and Team Rocket RGN's race by race 720S GT3 with Ewan Hankey and Mia Flewitt. They're back with us for a second time this year. You might remember they were with us at Silverstone a couple of rounds ago. On to the full contingent of Rocket 570Ss. Looking at the number 2 car there, shared by Jordan Collard and James Kell, and then the number 3 and number 4 of the 2 DDP entries that didn't quite see their full potential at Donington after a couple of incidents, but they both went very well in qualifying. So who knows? McLaren could be on the podium here, as they have been in GT4 in 4 of the last 6 events, but they've never won here at Spa-Francorchamps in the GT4 class. Now, first up is your bonus GT2 content, and it's the rather pretty KTM Expo GT2. It looks more like a spaceship, doesn't it? Some sort of TIE fighter or something with that bubble on top. Of course, GT2 doesn't compete in British GT, but it does have its own standalone championship in Europe and America as well. And who knows, we might see those cars in British GT at some point in the future. Academy's garage is closed, so we can't have a look at the Mustang, sadly. So we'll carry on and have a first look at British F3 and a rather packed Fortec garage. I'm afraid British F3 is not my forte, so we'll carry on quickly. We'll leave that one to Richard Randall. And on to the car that jointly leads the British GT3 standings. It's Ram Racing's Mercedes-AMG, shared by Jelmer Berman and Ian Loggy. They finished second at Donington Park, which means they get 15 seconds of success penalty on Sunday. Another GT2 car. This is the Porsche 911 GT2 RS in some rather familiar martini colours. A bit more F3, which are about to go out. This is Carlin, I believe. And on to British GT4 entry. This is Assetto Motorsports Ginetta G56, Mark Sansom and Charlie Robertson. Again, still waiting for those guys to really get a breakthrough result in the championship. They came very close at the opening round at Brands Hatch before getting that puncture with about 5 minutes to go. They would have won their first time out without that. Another KTM Expo in the GT2 championship there. Gone for the all-carbon look. Chris Dittman's F3 cars. And on to the other joint championship leader, Beechstein AMR's Aston Martin, which this weekend, breaking news, features Ross Gunn instead of Johnny Adam, who is having to self-isolate back home. So Ross joins us for the first time, I think, since 2019, and a winner here in 2015 en route to the GT4 title with Jamie Chadwick. And of course, Beechstein AMR, he shares with Andrew Howard in a car that will have 10 seconds at its pit stop on Sunday, for finishing 3rd at Donington. More F3. Can have a quick look in there at the Arden cars. And on we go to the first of our race-by-race entries this weekend. It's FF Corsa's Ferrari 488 Evo. And that one is usually, it competes in Ferrari's One Make series in Europe. Omar Jackson has joined us this weekend along with his pro co-driver Charlie Hollings to get a bit of experience of Spa before Ferrari Challenge comes here later in the year. GT2 spec Lamborghini Huracan, sort of a mashup of a Super Trofeo car and a GT3. And then here is the Huracan GT3 of Leopard Motorsport that joins us for the first time this weekend. Fidel Lieb shares with Brendan Leach. It's Leipert's first British GT appearance since 2012. More F3, so we'll carry on. Once you've seen one, you've kind of seen them all. And on to Balfe Motorsport and a couple of McLarens. The first up is the 570S. That's Jack Brown and Ashley Marshall. And on the other side of it, It's big brother in the GT3 class 720S of Stuart and Lewis Proctor, who lead the Silver Am standings coming into this one. On we go, just as F3 goes out. And another GT2 car. This one is the Audi R8. You just have a quick look at it. We'll stop and have a look, because it is quite different to a GT3 car and a GT4 car in the way it applies its power and its lap time. This is very much a point and squirt kind of car, not as heavily reliant on aero as a GT3, so really suited to AM drivers, and indeed it is targeted at AMs this European Championship. Quick footnote on that, the British GT Driver Standards Officer, Michael Vergers, competes in that. He'll be doing double GT with British GT this weekend. And here is the rather more standard version of the R8. This is Stella Motorsports GT4 version. No success penalty for those guys this weekend. They've been fantastic just about everywhere else. Second place is their best result so far this year. More GT2s, we've seen one of those already. And we're coming to the car, which is WPI's Lamborghini, which started on pole at Donington Park, you remember, but didn't get round the first corner after an accident with, it was Team Parker's Porsche, wasn't it? And then got collected by Barwell's Lamborghini. Those guys slipped from 3rd to 6th in the points, Phil Keane and Michael Igoe, but they don't have a success penalty this weekend. Another car that we're still sort of waiting for the breakthrough result for is Speedworks' Toyota. Again, been very quick, especially in the hands of Scott McKenna, who was set the fastest time in the last 2 GT4 Pro qualifying sessions. No success penalty for those guys. There were another who was caught up in an incident at Donington. And on to Barwell, the #1 car, which has got itself back into championship contention as a result of, well, 2 pretty good results, to be honest with you, since non-scoring at Brands Hatch. And no success penalty for Sandy Mitchell and Adam Ballon in the #1 this weekend. And the same goes for the 63 of Dennis Lind and Leo Machitsky. They were leading the championship going into Donington. As we've already touched on with WPI, they were involved in that incident which dropped them to 5th in the standings, but just like WPI, no success penalty. So swings and roundabouts when you don't get a particularly good result. British GT is always an opportunity to come back into the championship fight, especially as we're not even at half distance yet. Here are 2 cars that have been, well, really leading the way throughout 2021 in the GT4 class. It's Century's BMWs. You're looking at the overall championship leading car, shared by Will Burns and Gus Burton. They won at Donington, so have the full 20-second success penalty. And then we move on to the #9, which has actually switched classes this weekend. It's been regraded up to silver from Pro-Am. It still features Chris Salkeld and Andrew Gordon-Colebrook. They're 2nd overall in the championship. They have 15 seconds of success penalty on Sunday. A word about Century and its BMWs, they were the last combination to overturn British GT's full 20-second endurance success penalty, and it was here at Spa in 2018. On to Newbridge, getting to the bottom of the pit lane now, which the Aston Martin for Newbridge features once again Darren Turner, who's back from his Goodwood Festival of Speed commitment, so that kept him out of Donington. Matt Topham, of course, shares that car with him. Thank you, Richard, who's just turned off the generator for us as we get to the car that won at Donington. It is, of course, Abbott Racing's Mercedes of Richard and Sam Neary. An incredible result for those guys, coming from 10th to 1st after having the incident in second practice with the brake exploding. So they've got the full 20-second success penalty this weekend, but they are back in championship contention, joint 3rd in the standings. That is the end of the pit walk, so just time to remind you that we've got extra live coverage this weekend, which begins during second practice at 1 o'clock on Saturday and continues right through qualifying, and then the warm-up on Sunday before, of course, the race itself starts at 12:35 CEST. Remember, take an hour off that if you're in the UK. We hope you can join us.